Lucas chapter 16. And he said also to the disciples, There was a certain rich man who had a steward, and the same was accused to him that he was wasting his goods. And he called him and said to him, What is this that I hear of thee? Render the account of thy stewardship, for thou canst be no longer steward. And the steward said within himself, What shall I do, seeing that my Lord taketh away the stewardship from me? I have not strength to dig, to beg I am ashamed. I am resolved what to do, that when I am put out of the stewardship, they may receive me into their houses. And calling to him each one of his Lord's debtors, he said to the first, How much owest thou to my Lord? And he said, 100 measures of oil. And he said to him, Take thy bond, and sit down quickly, and write 50. Then said he to another, And how much owest thou? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. He saith to him, Take thy bond, and write 80. And his Lord commended the unrighteous steward, because he had done wisely. For the sons of this aeon are for their own generation wiser than the sons of the light. And I say to you, make to yourselves friends by means of the marmonah of unrighteousness, that when it shall fail, they may receive you into the Aeonic tabernacles. He that is faithful in a very little is faithful also in much, and he that is unrighteous in a very little is unrighteous also in much. If therefore ye have not been faithful in the unrighteous marmonah, who will commit to your trust the true wealth? And if ye have not been faithful in that which is another's, who will give you that which is your own? No house servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. Ye are not being able to be serving as a slave to God and to marmonah. And the Perishayah, who were lovers of silver, heard all these things, and they scoffed at him. And he said to them, Ye are they that justify yourselves in the sight of men, but God knoweth your hearts. For that which is exalted among men is an abomination in the sight of God. The law and the prophets were preached until Yohanan. From that time the announcement of the kingdom of the God is preached, and every man entereth violently into it. But it is easy for the sky and the earth to pass away, than for one seraph of the law to fail. Every one putting away his woman and marrying another is committing ongoing adultery, and the one marrying a woman having been put away from a man is committing ongoing adultery. Now there was a certain rich man, and he was clothed in purple and fine linen, faring sumptuously every day. And a certain beggar named Lazar was laid at his gate, full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the things falling from the rich man's table. Yea, even the dogs came and licked his sores. And it was that the beggar died, and that he was carried away by the messengers into Abraham's bosom. And the rich man also died, and was buried. And in Hades Sheol he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazar in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazar, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am in anguish in this flame. But Abraham said, Child, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivedst thy good things, and Lazar in like manner evil things. But now here he is comforted, and thou art in anguish. And besides all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, that they that would pass from hence to you may not be able, and that none may cross over from thence to us. And he said, I pray thee therefore, Father, that thou wouldst send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, that he may testify to them, lest they also come into this place of torment. But Abraham saith, They have Moshe and the prophets, let them hear them. And he said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if one go to them from dead ones, they will repent. And he said to him, If they hear not Moshe and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded if one rise out of dead ones.